Alright, hey everybody, Evan here from devascend.com, and in this video I'm going to cover inline event handlers. So when we go to our browser, we can see our cards here. However, what if we added an option to have a delete button that we can put on our card that will delete the fruit from our array? Well, let's go ahead and add that. So I'm going to add a button here. I'm going to call this button delete, and then I'm going to give it the on click function here with the curly braces. And now we're going to need to create a function that will delete the fruit. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to call this function delete fruit. And inside this function, we're just going to console.log, and we're going to need to get the ID of the fruit. So I'm going to say we're going to console log ID, and I'm going to pass ID as a parameter here. And now when we go down to our on click, we want to put delete fruit. However, we can't just simply pass in fruit ID to our delete fruit function here, because if you remember from the previous videos, by adding parentheses here, this is going to immediately invoke the function when this card is loaded. So in order to not immediately invoke this function, what we can do is add empty parentheses and then put an arrow here. And now this function will only be invoked once we click on it. So if I go ahead and save this and we go to our web browser, we can see if I open up the console, when I click on delete here, we're going to see 1. If I click on delete on the banana, we're going to see 2. And if I click delete on grape, it's going to be 3. And if you remember, this is in line with the IDs that we have at the end of our objects here, 1, 2, and 3. So now that we are able to access the specific ID in our array, and remember ID is a unique identifier, so it's only going to occur once, we can go ahead and say fruits, set it equal to the current value, and remember that's the name of our array, and we can use the filter function. And the filter function has a callback, and that callback is going to have, in this case, fruit. You can name this whatever you want, arrow function. And here's where we're going to do a conditional check. We're going to want to check fruit.id, which is the ID in our fruit array. And we want to see if it's not equal to the ID, which is what we're passing in as a parameter into our delete fruit function. And basically what this says is if fruit ID is not equal to the ID that we're passing, then it's going to equate to true, which means we will keep it in our array. Otherwise, if fruit ID is equal to the ID that we're passing in, then that's going to equate to false, which means we're going to remove it from our array. Now, if I go ahead and remove this console log here, and I console log at the bottom fruits, which is the name of our array, and we go back to our browser. Now, when I click on apple here and I click on the delete button, we're going to see in the console that only banana and grape exist in our array. And as you can see, it deleted the card on our browser here. Now, if I go ahead and click on delete on the banana card, we see in our console that now only grape exists within our array, and obviously grape is only being displayed on our DOM elements here. And what you'll notice is our each loop actually updates every time we make a change to our fruits array here. And yeah, that's pretty much a basic example of how this works. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments down below, or you could join the devascend Discord server, and I'm sure someone will be able to help you out there. Anyway, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.